Good morning, teachers. This is a screencast to show you how to use the Effective Educator website and the iObservation platform for creating a professional plan. Everyone has been set up with an account. If you haven't logged in already, click on First Time User and follow the instructions. Once you have created an account, log in, and you will see a screen that should look something like the following. There's lots of things to look at here. You can look at the forms that can be used for observations here. We'll be using Marzano's Domains 1 to Domain 4. You can conduct a peer evaluation or peer observation through here. Collaborate with other teachers and myself or your administrators. If you'd like to do a conference or a discussion, a conference is with just one person and yourself, so 2 people, and a discussion is with 3 or more people. The resource library is a great resource. It comes over here in the filter, but you can also look at all of the documents and videos in here as well and narrow things down. Filtering is the best way to do that. The filters remain, but remember to clear filters when you want to start to see everything. Today, however, we're looking at growth plans, and you're going to click on growth and start on a plan. And we're going to start a plan from the beginning. So what we're going to do here, the first thing that you're going to do is create a new plan. And we have some domains that we have set as mandatory. And you'll be able to see those domains in step 3. There's 8 elements that are required. 5 are mandatory. You can choose between 3 and 5 more from there. When you take your self-assessment, you can take as many, all. It says all here, but there's no reason to do all. You can self-assess yourself on as many as you'd like. It's a good idea to assess yourself definitely on the ones, the 8 or 10 that you're going to be doing anyway, and we'll go through those. The mandatory ones are in domains 2, 3, and 4, and we suggest choosing between 3 and 5 elements in domain 1. We'll get to that in just a minute. So in domain 2, we'll start with domain 2. You click on there. A little timer comes up, but that's just for you. It's nothing to worry about. That just is there. One of the mandatory domains is domain 2.5, use of available technology. So you look on there and you click all these boxes that apply to you. You self-assess yourself on where you are like that, and you make a comment. If you want to save and come back to that, you can save that as a draft. You can save and close that. At some point, you're going to have to come back there, and for domain 2, you would then hit finish. So you can see now domain 2 has moved from this area here to in progress. In domain 3, there are 2 mandatory elements, and that is, surprise, surprise, develop a written growth plan and monitor it. So here, click all that apply, and you could say, well, you're beginning to use that, and write another comment here if you wish. Now, you're not going to want to hit finish here because that will close all of the domains. So you want to save and close before you hit finish. And then moving on to element 3.5. You can go back to that, open the element again, and you look at here, identifying pedagogical strengths, individual lessons. If you don't want to self-assess yourselves on any of those, you could finish up here by doing this. And now you save and close. you can take a look down here. Domain 3, you say, yeah, let me reflect back on that. I'm finished with domain 3. I've got 2 of the elements in there, and so you're going to hit finish. And then you'll see that domain 3 is moving from the in progress to the completed self-assessments. If you want to do the same thing for domain 2, you can look at those, go, okay, I'm not going to self-assess myself on any more of those. You can if you wish, but if you're finished with that domain, you can click on Finish. Domain 4 also has 2 essential elements. Okay. Domains, and these are elements here. There are 6 elements under the 4th domain. The essential elements here are domains 1 and 2, positive interactions with colleagues. You click on this, self-assess yourself, make a comment, and here at some point you could also add attachments, ask for a look for, even make an overall comment. The second essential element in there, in domain 4, is the second one. Element 2, positive interactions with parents and students. And again, self-assess yourself by checking the boxes. There's more information about the scale here if you want to open that up to further define what each of those are. And self-assess yourself there. Create another comment. Add some evidence if you wish. And if you're done with that, you know you're done with that domain 4. There's no more that you want to click under there. You're all done. You can't really go on right now. If you wanted to, it will say, oh, sorry, you've got to finish that first. Oh, actually, you can, but you won't be able to go to step 3. So I'm going to go back. There's only one question in step 2. So I suggest choosing 3 to 5 elements under domain 1. I would suggest choosing a domain question. You'll notice that there are 9 domain questions. Choose one of them and try and focus on that domain question. So I'm going to look over these 9 domain questions. I'm going to say, I really want to work this year on engaging students. So I'm going to choose 2 or 3 elements underneath here, and then you can choose 1 or 2 elements under the remaining domains. So I'm going to check on using academic games, because I want to learn more about that. And I'm going to finally make my comment. Assess myself here. Save and close. Now I have 2 more to go before in domain 1 before I've reached the mandatory minimum. And again, focus on a domain question, so I want to use friendly conversation as well. Write down a comment. Attach some evidence, which you will be able to do later as well. Save and close. All of these will reappear in step 3. And so I want to finish the self-assessment by doing at least 1 more for a total of 8. I want to maintain a lively pace, so I'm going to check some of the evidence there. You can look at reflection questions here. What does it mean by all of this? Oftentimes there's even a video, and this would be in the, there we are, Mr. Marzano. These are all in the library, the resources that you can see. Sorry, let's go back. I'll show you the resources with the pop-out. So all of those are available in the resources. I'm just going to save and close that. Go back and finish that one. Even if you're not finished, you'll notice that there's check marks there. So I'm going to say, yeah, I am finished with this domain. And then you'll see all of those self-assessments are then completed. I'm going to answer the question in step 2. And this is really simple. There's only one question here. And now you're able to move on to step 3. Okay, so it says now it's done. You've done step 1 to step 2. Now I'm going to select my target elements. Now since you've already done your target elements in step 1 in the self-assessment, this is going to be relatively easy. We see that there are required elements, domain 2, domain 3, domain 4. The recommended elements here, academic games, using friendly controversy, those are the ones you chose. And you need a total of 8 to go on. You can choose up to 10. So you can actually go back here. You'll notice there's a little bullseye here, a little target. That also means that these are ones that we'd like you to look at. If these are meaningful to you, you can also use those as part of your plan. So right now what we're going to do here is we're going to configure this. You initially set off in your self-assessment, you said your starting performance, you were beginning. How do you want to be at the end of this plan? You want to be applying. Then you need to answer this question. The asterisk here means it's mandatory. What are the current student behaviors or learnings that you want to see improve as a result of focusing on this target strategy? You write down your answer here. You can save that, and you are then finished with that target. You'll see now that you can go back and edit it, you can remove it, and you can preview it. Other required elements, you'll have to do that with each of these. By the end of this year, on your growth plan, you will have been applying it. Answer the question with more words than just that. Hit save. And you'll see again, it comes up here. You'll need to configure all of these before you can move on. So I'm just going to do them very quickly. Still have positive interactions. At the end of the year, you want to be innovating in that. You might only be applying, but this is a very important one, promoting positive interactions with colleagues. As we all live in a very small fishbowl, it's very important that we work together to do that. Positive interactions with parents and students as well. Very important in overseas schools that we maintain positive relations with our staff, our parents, our students. Finally, these are the ones that you chose. in your self-assessment. That's why I recommend doing them in the self-assessment. You see them again here. Write down your answers. This is number 7. And again, you need to choose 8, so 3 of your own choice, and you can choose up to 5 of your own choice for a total of 10. So I need to choose 1 more, and again, I can come down here and I can go, let me see, one of these target areas might be good. I have some ELL learners in my class, and I want to be able to make sure that I look after the needs of them too. So you can do that, and maybe this would be your final one. So now that you've configured your target elements with a beginning and end goal, you can choose more if you wish. Go back to the plan. So, you have done steps 1, you have done steps 2, you have done steps 3. Step 4, develop an action plan. There are 2 parts of the action plan that are already done for you. In the second week of November, principals will review it, and again in April. So ideally, we would like your action plan submitted to us by the end of October. What can you do in the meantime? You can finish up your plan, but let's say here's some ideas of what you can do. Once you've done your plan and it's been approved, you can choose to record yourself and do a self-observation. And you might want to do that on using academic games. And you could add a resource and a reflection log, and then save that action step for November 20th. You might want to put that in the correct order, which would mean moving this around here like that. So we have November 20th, last week in April. Add another step. Have a peer observation. Have another teacher observe you. And maybe you want to do that in January. Friendly controversy. Add a few resources and save. Once you've added 3 or 4 steps here, you can make sure that the steps are in the correct order by moving those around. You've moved them around, save the action step order, and element 4, step 4 is done. The last thing you need to do, step 5, is submit for approval. I get notice that you have submitted it. I look it over and can make some comments, and you can even share this with other teachers, as many as you like. So that's how this works. If you have any questions, please come and see me. I'm just going to cancel that out. But remember to take a look at the resource library. Lots of good stuff there. Use this filter, okay, especially by grade level and any of the domains as well. Remember, when you redo a search, you're going to want to clear your filter. Look at the observations. This is where you can do a peer observation as well. You can start a discussion with myself or any other faculty here. And the growth plan again is under growth. We haven't really talked about reports or evaluations, but that will come out in the future. So any questions, please come and see me.